hadith stated that when a woman becomes the age of 9, she becomes mature.
Yeah.
Would you take a testimony?
No, I mean, I would say Aisha was a very strong woman. Okay?
No, but why would you not take a testimony? Her herself has said that she's mature at the age of 9. Why not take a testimony?
Because she was put into that situation with him. She was
what situation?
Mature. Because she was married to him at 6.
Oh, brother.
She was married to a
54-year-old
man when she was 6 years old.
Okay.
They didn't even consummate the marriage before.
No, listen, look, what you're saying is ridiculous. Let me tell you why, yeah, with all due respect. The Prophet Muhammad, peace upon him, I don't know why you're laughing, to be honest with you, bro. I don't think there's anything funny here, but you can keep laughing in the background, no problem. But the Prophet Muhammad, he had many enemies, yeah? Many enemies. They called him a liar, they called him a witch, they called him an individual that does sihr, magic. But none of them, not even one of them called him a paedophile, or one of them raised issues of Aisha's marriage.
Of course, because he's Prophet Muhammad, he's untouchable.
But it makes no sense.
He's Rasulullah.
Wait.
He goes to
No. The Quraysh used to call the Prophet Muhammad many names. They called him a liar. They called him an individual that spreads many lies.
Yeah.
But how comes they never mentioned once about Aisha's marriage?
Because, like you said, at that time it was okay.
Okay, that's fine. So now that we established.
And now, will you assume? Will you say that at that time it's okay?
Okay, so that's subjectively, according to your morality, according to your principles, that would be okay as well.
Wait. Would you say that? At that time, it was okay for someone to marry someone at 6 years old.
At that time, it was normal to marry an individual.
So you believe in moral relativism?
Wait, one second. No, I don't believe in that. I'm saying according to your principles. You're an atheist. Yeah. Do you believe in the social consensus of the environment to determine your morality from being right or wrong?
No, I don't.
You don't believe in that?
Like you can ground yourself in many moralities.
Okay,
but I would ground myself in this case when it comes to paedophilia, when it comes to a guy marrying a 54-year-old marrying a 6-year-old, that there is an objective consensus there that should not be okay.
Okay, one second, there's no objective consensus. Why? For example, in certain countries, you can get married at the age of 15, but other countries, the legal requirement for you to get married is 16. So therefore, if I just go to that country and I marry a person at the age of 15, does that make me a paedophile just because I go to a different country?
15 is very different to 6.
No, what we're saying to you is that it's subjective. Your understanding of marriage is subjective. Look, for example, if you live because if you lived 1400 years ago and if you saw the conditions of the people, and I told you,
yes.
There was a study done as well, when individuals live in harsh conditions, they mature much more physically quicker. And look, once you're physically mature as well, naturally you have to be emotionally mature as well.
No.
Why? Let me tell you why. Because if you're going through conditions and they're very difficult situations and they're challenging situations, then naturally I know I need to have more tolerance.
Yes.
I need to be more patient. I need to be more strong. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to fight any battles. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran has said that He does not burden a soul more than what he can bear.
Yes.
So we have this virtue as Muslims.
Yeah.
So that's why you need to understand. Like, imagine, bro, me and you, we're living 1400 years ago. We're dying at the age of 13, 14-year-old. Don't you think naturally and biologically and from your evolutionary perspective, they'd marry at an early age?
No, but you see, your case with Prophet Muhammad marrying, like Aisha was the only one that he married that was young.
Yes.
Everyone else was older.
Yes.
So that case doesn't work then, because then he would marry all of his young wives to be young then.
No, that's not the point. What we're saying, that you know what you just said right now literally proves my point. Is if the Prophet Muhammad had a specific agenda that you say.
I'm not saying he had a specific agenda.
No, but the thing is, what we're trying to say to you is that, like, if he had a specific agenda that he married Aisha, why did he marry Aisha? She's quite young. But all of his wives, a lot of them were older than him. Some of them were widows. Some of them were divorcees. I have to emphasize this multiple times. You know why? Because the Quraysh had a culture as well. And that culture, what was it? That you can't marry a widow. You can't marry a divorcee. Women were treated very badly. But Allah has regulated this. Just like, for example, 4 wives. Allah has regulated the people at that time.
Muhammad could have more.
Absolutely. Nabi Sallallahu can split the moon. We can't split the moon. Nabi Sallallahu can go to...
What's the evidence for him splitting the moon?
Okay, cool. Firstly, when it comes to the evidences, you know as a Muslim, we believe in the Quran and Sunnah, right? So we believe everything that's written in the Quran is preserved. Why? Of course, from the proofs, from the evidences, from the understanding. So there's some things that we will not be able to get your metaphysical proof. Like, for example, splitting the moon. But however, there's an individual on YouTube, he made a video about the scientific proofs of splitting the moon. I haven't watched it, but I heard it's very interesting and there's a truth to it. But I don't know personally. But I cannot prove to you physically that Prophet Muhammad did that. And I'm not claiming that as well. But what I can prove to you is what you're believing in is absolutely subjective.
Okay.
I can prove that to you.
Yeah.
You have no ground, you have no foundations, you can't say anything to me because you don't have your own criteria.
I do.
What is your criteria?
Rationality.
Is rationality subjective?
Yeah.
Can rationality be different?
Rationality is relatively objective, actually.
Okay, can rationality be the same for every single person in this world?
There is a reason. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So rational, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Does every single person in the world activate their rationality?
Depends.
In the Quran it says, أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ. Will you not ponder? Will you not think? So Allah says, for example, you know, in the Day of Judgment, there's an interesting thing that I want you to listen to, because it might apply to you, it might apply to me, you never know, if you die a kuffar, yeah? So in the time of the Day of Judgment, the kuffar were saying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if only if I use my intellect. If only I'd be used, aql as well, but intellect. I'm not too sure if the Quranic Arabic said aql, I'm not sure, I need to double check. But if only if you use that intellect, that means using your intellect is to acknowledge your creator, is to acknowledge that we did not come here randomly or spontaneously. We believe in a creator that possesses the attributes of power, knowledge, ability, that created us with a purpose, and by wisdom, but from his wisdom and from his knowledge, he created us, and he chose prophets amongst ourselves, and he differentiated them by giving them prophecies, by giving them miracles. And then we, as human beings, we decided this religion is the truth, the Quran is the truth. But the problem is that you have no foundations. Your foundation is your rationality. Your rationality is different to my rationality, correct?
Can I give you an example?
Sure.
You know Immanuel Kant?
The philosopher, yeah.
So he had
which I don't believe in.
called the categorical imperative.
Okay.
So the way he tried to ground morality is by saying that, listen, if everyone were to do something, it would fuck up society. So, for example, if everyone were to steal, society would collapse.
Okay.
So if everyone were to lie, society would collapse because no deals could get done. That is a proof of applying reason to morality. And I would say that, for me, that's not the whole truth.
Okay, that's wrong. Let me tell you why. Firstly, I don't even believe in philosophy, but I will entertain this argument because I believe it's wrong. I believe depending on the country that you go to, for example, the Amazon rainforest or the Greek times, yeah? So the Greek times, they used to believe in that if an individual is born defective, or if a baby has like the arm cuts off whilst they're born, they would just get rid of that baby. They would say that baby has no value to them in the battlefield. So subjectively.
All right, I'll see you soon.
So subjectively, according to that time, that act was right. But in Islam, we believe in objective morality. We believe Allah is the judge, Allah is the lawmaker, and Allah is the one that's given us revelations to follow on.
What I'm trying to say to you is that this idea of objective morality, it also does exist in philosophy. Like with this, look,
it doesn't.
After this, look up, go home, type in.
But Amazon rainforest, what about them?
Yeah, if everyone were to lie and steal, the society would collapse.
So
that's a morally wrong action because that doesn't uphold society.
But not everyone would agree with you.
No, but I'm saying that if you think about that, if all of us around here in society, if all of us were always to lie and to steal, society would collapse.
I understand.
It's not a good thing to do.
I understand. Look,
so
as
you
Muslims,
don't need to derive your morality from a divine being.
No, let me tell you something. As Muslims, we believe in fitrah, yeah? So fitrah means that every single individual has a natural inclination. So that means, for example, we know automatically to have intercourse with your own daughter is wrong. We know automatically to kill, to murder, to lie, to steal is absolutely wrong. We all agree with this. But does every single person follow the imperative? And does every single person, is the imperative, it could also be manipulated by other religions, by false prophets, by individuals promising to something which is not true. Therefore, there's no objectivity.
But what I'm trying to prove to you that there is objectivity in this statement, in this idea. Because objectively, it doesn't matter, you could be in the Amazon.
But the problem is,
you could be in any society.
You know what the problem is?
If everyone were to lie and to steal,
I understand.
society would collapse.
I understand, but the problem is that my objectivity, my laws comes from my creator.
Exactly.
My creator. Your laws comes from a group of people which do not have a unanimous agreement, which always changes, which has different perspectives even in that philosophy itself. No, but as Muslims, we're grounded. Look, as you know, about us, that we're not tolerant people regarding our religion. And what does that mean? Because the people might take this out of context. Tolerate in the sense that we do not change our values, we do not change our laws for anyone. We believe in Allah's word always.
But I'm saying that you don't, to be able to derive objective morality, you don't inherently need to derive it from a divine being for it to make sense.
Let me tell you why you do need to. The reason being is because if a creator created you, then only he is the most knowledgeable and the most wise to determine and to dictate how we could live in this world.
Well, that's the point. And I don't agree with that point. I'm saying that you can derive objective morality from society. I think morality very much is socially constructed.
Okay, let me tell you something. This is a very interesting thing that you mentioned, society, So, 100 years ago in this country, if you were living in the times of the LGBT laws, what decision would you believe in regarding LGBT if you lived 100 years ago?
If I lived 100 years ago, if I was induced into Christian thoughts and all of that, then I would disagree with it.
And would you say majority of those people at that time had the opinion that LGBT is wrong?
Yeah.
And now
that's because they were brainwashed with Christianity.
Whatever, doesn't matter about brainwash.
Well, it does matter.
No,
that is the concept.
Let me tell you why. 1 second. And now at this time, do you agree that majority of the people living in now, or many of the people right now, and the country as well, and this government accepts LGBT?
Yeah.
But at that time, LGBT was wrong, and at this time, LGBT is right. What's the right and wrong?
change.
Why is that the case, bro? Why do you think that's the case? Because 100 years ago, the Christians dominated the education sector a lot more than they do now. Christianity is divided from it.
It's not about that.
Yes, it is.
Let me tell you why. You said,
why is LGBTQ? Why is LGBTQ
wait,
a problem?
many people did not even go to education, and some people did, some people did
They went
not.
to church
But look,
instead.
wait. Naturally, it was well known. It was a natural imperative that everyone knows. 100 years ago, the LGBT is wrong to the extent that there was a capital punishment of anyone that practices LGBT. Wait, let me finish.
Yeah.
I understand your point that you're saying education and stuff. Yeah, but now we could see 100 years later by the narratives of music, by festivals, by celebrities, by influencers, by promoting a specific agenda, which has no correlation at all. Like watching a football match, and that specific agenda has no correlation at all, but it's everywhere. It's conditioned to normalize that is wrong. And now you're thinking it's permissible just because it's something that's morally acceptable because of the environment you're living in. So what happens is that you're not consistent.
Okay, no. Let me ask you another question. Do you think homosexuals always existed? Or do you think they just popped up now, the LGBTQ agenda popped up now, you got all these gays running around?
Quantity-wise, it's increased now, yes.
Yeah, but do you think they always existed?
There were some evil people, yeah.
Evil?
In the sense of carrying out your tendencies, yes. And same thing, wait, once again, because you said evil, even if a man did it with a woman, it's also evil. Carry on now.
I'm saying, that
finish off.
Throughout history, there's always been gays. Tchaikovsky, fantastic Russian, composer, gay.
Yeah.
Oscar Wilde, gay.
Yeah.
These guys were persecuted by the societies.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is that 100 years ago, you had a very different situation in terms of education, in terms of the power of the church, in terms of the power of Christian ideals that prevented LGBTQ and like you said, they made it a capital punishment. Now I don't even agree with the LGBTQ agenda. I think it's swung completely the other way. But my point is that if you suppress these ideas in society and then you allow them, of course you're going to get this backlash. Of course you're going to get this like reverse thing where you have the LGBTQ agenda promoted. But that's because of the church.
But what I would say to you is that it's not just you think mostly of the morality changes because the elites, they had power and they could control what knowledge is circulating and what beliefs and what opinions are circulating.
Especially with the power of the church.
To a little extent that is true, of course. So the church and the powers, they influence decisions.
Yeah.
But at the same time, at that time, everyone had a natural inclination. Just because if a society tells you that killing is right does not mean that your natural imperative will say that killing is right. It doesn't. No, all the time. Not all the time. Sometimes so people had that opinion. So the point, I think we digress a lot, but the point I was trying to make to you is that morality always changes. For example, right now, people are campaigning in order to get incest normalized between a brother and sister, both over the age of 18, both have contraception, no harm principle. So it's not going to harm anyone. According to that principle, they're allowing that and promoting that between certain societies and certain groups.
But that's not the only principle.
The thing is, it's not just the only principle, but at the same time, it shows Islam has protected us from this sort of evil of incest and all that madness. Because why? A morality of sexual fornication, murder. Don't you think it's interesting 1400 years ago? Don't you think 1400 years ago it was so interesting that individual that lived 1400 years ago, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, has all the solutions of the problems that the West is having right now?
West problems extend far beyond this.
No, but don't you think it's interesting?
No. On the veneer, like, look at Iran, man. Look at these countries like Pakistan as well.
Yes.
Just because they enforce the strict Islamic morality, it doesn't make them a powerful, good nation necessarily. Look, that doesn't make them a powerful nation. They have nothing on the West. They have no power to compare to the West, and they don't exactly have the best morality reviews. There's so many rapes in Pakistan. So many rapes.
Okay, wait, 1 second. Wait, one second, brother. Look, listen, wait 1 second. Even statistically speaking, America and the UK, they're quite high when it comes to rape. And secondly speaking as well, in UK and when it comes to other countries, right now you got Soho over there, yeah? Many women over there are being human trafficked, yeah? Listen, many human are getting trafficked, yeah? Wait 1 second. London brothers are dying every single day. They're getting stabbed, yeah? Knife crime, gun shootings, drug problems, so much issues in the world right now. But you're talking about the other countries. Wait 1 second. And you're talking about the countries which had meddling from Western foreign influence and powers. For example, Iraq. Exactly, every single person knows what happened in Iraq, what Tony Blair did, and killed 1 million Muslims. So no one speaks about that. Rather, for example, Saudi Arabia. Yeah, everyone gets a lot of hate to Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is a country where you could live in peace. You could have a job. Your family is safe. I could leave £1 million. I could leave a phone over there. No one's gonna rob me. No one's gonna take my stuff. When the UK, which apparently, according to you, civilized country, where the West is very civilized, I can't even go to London without my phone getting robbed, without my watch getting taken. Where's the morality? Islam teaches harsh punishments. If a person is stealing, it's not straight away cutting your hands. However, there's a procedure that goes through it.
The problem.
And that's a good thing.
It's not misdiagnoses the symptoms. It's not the guy stealing. It's the guy that doesn't have any money. That's why he steals. It's the economy that's.
That's not the only thing. I agree.
Why do people steal?
That's a half truth. That's a half truth.
It misdiagnoses it. If someone steals, okay, they get their hand cut off. That's not that.
No. See, look,
the economy's failed.
Umar ibn Khattab answers you, yeah? So at the time of famine, individuals were stealing out of hunger. Umar ibn Khattab, he removed the punishment of cutting the hands.
Okay. Yeah.
Why there's hikmah, there's hikmah when it comes to the legislations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that's what we're saying to you. Look, in Saudi Arabia, they have the punishment of cutting your hands and stealing with very certain conditions, not very simple. And that country, alhamdulillah, I could leave £1 million, I could leave all my phones. You can say it to yourself because you've been to Dubai. Will anyone steal it?
Yeah, they won't. But Dubai is not a free country.
Brother,
you could also get deported for in Dubai you can get deported so easily.
Yeah.
In Dubai, so it's completely.
In the UK you can get stripped. In the UK your houses can get taken away from you forcefully.
Not as easy as.
Yes, you can, brother. Yes, you can. You need to research it. Let me tell you why. For example, let me tell you why.
You can't compare the deportation laws to the eviction laws.
No, 1 second. The eviction law. That's the thing. Not many people understand about the eviction laws. Yeah, there's an individual named Andrew Tate. Yeah, of course, he made a video about this as well, which is very interesting. And the reason being is because what people are doing, they're forcefully getting individuals to move away from the houses, either to give it away to the refugees, either for construction, either way motorways things. Even though they've been paying the mortgage all their life, which we believe is haram, they have to forcefully move and they have no laws. For example, if the government does not like you, they will take your passport away. If the government doesn't like you, your bank account will be taken away. If the government doesn't like you, if you're challenging their agenda, if you're changing a certain perimeter in that country and completely changing it. So for example, if anyone in the UK tries to make, let's say you're trying to make the UK more conservative, more traditional, just by giving dawah, and just by saying, look, not forcefully saying anything, but we're Muslims, we women, we dress modestly, we promote this modesty as well. Individuals will come to you and say to you, listen, you're promoting extremism, you're messing up with British values, when we're not. Their own values is freedom for everyone, freedom of expression.
Have you been persecuted personally for giving dawah?
I don't consider myself giving dawah. I'm just here. I spoke to you. The camera came here. But of course, absolutely, there's individuals that say to you, even though I'm born and bred here, go back to your country.
No, of course, I'm not. I'm saying, has the government persecuted for saying what you're saying?
So there are certain things, but the thing is, what I like to do, I don't like to complain. I'm happy with the UK. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. I'm not those type of people. I'm gonna complain. I'm gonna standardize my problems. As a Muslim, I take accountability. I have to be strong. We have to be masculine men.
Yeah.
So regarding that situation, look, I believe the UK is the best country for Muslims. I'm going to say that straight up.
That's
in
fair,
Europe,
Yeah.
not Muslim countries, in Europe. Other countries you can't wear the niqab. Other countries you can't pray when you're working. So we believe in that perspective. So we give justice as well. But when we criticize UK, other individuals, they say to us, girl, get out of our country then. What do you mean? We're criticizing because we're part of the country as well. So for example, like Prophet Muhammad 1400 years ago, he came up with solutions to the problems that we're having right now. Gambling makes people steal money from their own mother. You've probably seen it as well.
I know, but I'm just saying that it misdiagnoses. So when someone's stealing, you shouldn't. I don't think you should cut their hands off.
Okay, listen, Baba. Yeah, look. When it comes to like I said to you, Umar ibn Khattab, he said the punishment of.
Ibn Khattab, he did it, but not for long. He did it only while there was a famine.
Absolutely. Look, let me tell you why. Okay, cool. Let me tell you why. If, for example, stealing has caused the death of many people, why? Burglaries, attempted robbery, many situations where people have lost their lives of stealing. Having a harsh deterrent would prevent many individuals from carrying out the act. And in London right now, my brother, you know yourself, the amount of robberies, the amount of Range Rovers have been stolen, the amount of watches have been stolen. I'm telling you right now, if we had Saudi Arabia's punishment in London, all of these problems will be solved. I don't care. I know it will be. Why? Because it's Allah's law. Allah's law is the most wise.
Saudi Arabia is a very different country. Like, you cannot compare both. Like Saudi Arabia, there is no democracy. There is no civil liberties. There's
there's democracy here,
laws.
There's democracy in America.
Yes, there's democracy here.
Yeah, so
there's no labor laws.
So no rigging happens,
If you look at
no agendas are pushed.
If you look at the reason why the Gulf states, they live so well. They live so well off the backs of others.
I'll be honest, most people are.
And the Pakistanis that are
No. Look, I'm Pakistani myself, We love our Arab countries. They're Muslim. Saudi Arabia is a Muslim country. Wait, listen, let me finish. Wait. What happens is that every country, when you're a lower class individual, when I say lower class, not in a bad way, I mean if you're a labor worker, even Pakistanis treat Pakistani labor workers bad.
I know.
So if you go to Saudi Arabia, if you go to UAE or Bahrain, sometimes it happens, but not everyone. But the thing is, that's a side point, bro. The whole point, I think, was being highly changed. But the point is, it was about morality, I think we should just keep it short and end the conversation. What my point is that we have objective morality. Why? Because Allah has given us the Quran and Sunnah for us to do rulings upon. Okay, and we understand these rulings from Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, from the ulama, and we believe these rulings, when it comes to the foundations, can never change. Worship Allah, worship Him without any partners, worship Him without any intermediaries. Okay, worship Him alone directly. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. So these foundations can never change. And even, for example, murder will always be wrong, stealing will always be wrong, and interestingly, incest will always be wrong, which some people right now are trying to justify, and Islam will never allow it because we are not tolerant to these new ideologies. However, we're strong, we're traditional, and we will always stand up for ourselves. And that's the conclusion. Nice talking to you.
Lovely talking to you, man.
Bro, rather, don't be persistent, bro. Don't be just coming here just for the sake of debating, bro. I've seen you so many times. I wasn't even planning to be for this to be on camera, but anyways, try to do it, man. Try to read the Quran more. Inshallah. Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum. Flash this up, please. Yeah, this is can you put it there? My first question.